Alright, let's get this started. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. For starters, I would highly recommend turning on allied health bars for D.Va, or just off tank in general, but in particular D.Va and Zarya, you need to have it. And that is this setting. Where is it? So it's this setting right here, allied health bars. If you don't want it on every character, just go to like your off tanks and turn it on to D always, because it's really important because you don't know when to DM people if you don't know when they're low, right? I mean, there's generally stuff you can do in terms of like DMing people when like they're being attacked, right? But it's hard to know. So having more information is just better, right? Yeah. So that's one recommendation already. Okay. Also, again, be really careful taking damage, right? So if you look, you just lost 400 HP, right? You have Harmony Orb this whole time, I think. Let me check. Yes, you have Harmony Orb, right? And like, if you think about it, right, the Mercy doesn't want to heal you. The Mercy wants to pocket the Echo, so the Echo can poke really hard, right? With like damage boosted stickies and shots, etc., right? If you have a Brig really doesn't want to heal you, because whoa, thanks for the donation. I don't think I have anything set up for this, so I'm not sure how donations work. I'm sorry. I don't think I have like anything linked, so I'm not sure that it's going to go through. But thanks. Either way. Oh, I see. It's just text. Got it. Cool. Thanks for the follow, man. Alright, I got distracted, sorry. So, like, the core point, basically, is when you're playing D.Va, you don't want to face tank, especially when you have limited healing. If you're going to peek, you peek for information, right? And you use your DM to avoid taking damage. So if you want to do that, right, you peek around the corner, you flash DM, you maybe cross if you want to get to, like, a better angle where you can get closer without taking damage, like this corner, as opposed to this corner. And then you use DM maybe to get someone across, and that's how you avoid taking damage. If you just, like, walk into them, you're going to take a lot of damage, and you're going to be really sad, right? So really be careful about that. WTF is this game? This is Overwatch. Yeah, so if you look, like, you've had Harmony this whole time, and that Harmony isn't going in your DPS. It's not going on your ball. It's not going your I mean, Echo is also DPS, I guess, but, like, it's not going your DPS, it's not going your ball, who need it way more than you do. Which is why I keep stressing, like, you just don't want to take damage as D.Va, if you're going to play D.Va in this comp. Right, so, instead of, like, face tanking, like, just hold your DM, get to cover first. Oh, you mean the numbers on the side? Like the white numbers? This stuff? These are stats that are tracked in the scrim code. This is a scrim code, sorry. Alright, back to your powder. So yeah, like, if you just look, you've had Harmony Orb basically the entire fight, and you're still not getting healed up properly. Yeah, you're grabbing the mini, and you just can't keep up on health, right? Like, and it's at these moments that you need to have all your health for, right? Where the fight is on, right? People are pushing, you're trying to like keep your team alive, right? And you absolutely need to have all your health for this moment because there's just not enough healing to go around. Everyone in your team is dying right now. You're the lowest priority in the healing order, right? And you need to like play like it, right? Yeah. I don't play Overwatch, that's why. Well, that would do it. Alright, so again, if you're going to peek, right, you peek for information, right, because if you think how much damage you do here, this is like 2 damage. like pretty much exactly 2 damage, right? So you peek, right, you flash a DM, and then you back around the corner, and you chill, right? You don't want to peek and just like walk around, or even shoot, right? You just peek for information, flash your DM, make sure you don't get hit by CC. If that's a sleep dart, you're going to be really sad. Make sure you don't take any extra damage, right, because you don't want to take damage. And you just peek, check for information, and then hide again, right? Right, so you took very little damage there, right? Which is good. But if their Ashe was ready for this, or they had like more damage lined up, this you could have been in more trouble, right? So just like be consistent about it, right? Every time you peek, flash your DM, and then stop peeking, right? Get your information and then leave. Like I know it feels like you're doing something, but you've gained 2% ult and almost all of it's passive, right? You're really not doing anything at this range. So if you're gonna peek, right? Flash GM, make sure you don't take any damage. You don't have to flash DM every time you peek if you're going to peek repeatedly. So you, say like you peek, you see there's no Ashe, right? As you flash your DM, and then after that the second peek maybe doesn't have to be with DM, right? But make sure that your first peek at least has DM, and then after that you can reconsider. But don't even try shooting. Shooting just slows you down. Right, so if you look, you took an unnecessary Ashe shot, right? That's 100 healing, right? You're missing 100 health now, right? And your Zen really, really, really does not want to orb you. Right, so he orbs you, right? But this orb could be for on anyone else right now, right? Alright, let's see what you could have done here. So that's unfortunate that you let him die. Just in general, if you're gonna post up here, this is an aggressive positioning. It means that you're trying to get to a high ground somewhere above or behind them, where you can just kind of shoot down on the supports for free. Yeah, like you sort of like it looks like you didn't know what to do, right? You like walk this way, right? You come out through here, you get really close, and then you just like walk all the way out. You even flash your DM, even when it's just a Brig and a D.Va who's not looking at you, so they have no damage, right? You flash your DM and then you walk around the corner, and then by the time you get back, your Zen has died. So it looked like you just didn't know what to do, right? And if you don't know what to do, at least it's just like chill and protect your bodyguard, like bodyguard your Zen, right? If you're not sure what to do, at least protect your Zen. This is also really weird. We were calling to res, right? Just like make sure like you see where the threats are coming from. This is somewhat camera control, because you just need to throw what the threats are, and you know there's an echo in the area. You hear the fly, right? You come out and you're not even looking for it, right? And then like you see her, you actually see her above, right? And instead of looking at her, you look at the res, and you're not ready to DM it, right? So again, like just know your responsibility, right? So in this case, right, there's no other threats. They're all the way back here, and you're looking over here, as opposed to at the echo. And then when you look at the Mercy, when you know the echo's right here, because you saw it in your peripheral vision, right? You don't DM the Mercy, and the stickies go through, and this was what kills your Mercy, right? Right, and it was very preventable. These missiles are not the best. Oh, it would be really nice to have missiles right now. Yeah, okay, so you've also got to use DM better, right? So like in this case, right? I'll go back. Alright, so these missiles are really bad because again, you just want to wait until either the ball's going in or you're going in chasing someone, right? So if someone comes in, right, then you missile them, and if you're chasing, you're going in, then you're missiling. But you really don't want to missile the spam unless you're trying to break a shield or something. In general, D.Va's not the best at that, anyways. So right here, they get on your Zen, right? So you have two choices. One is to boost into this guy and body block for your Zen, right? And the other safer option is to just DM your Zen. Put DM on him. Your Zen takes 0 damage, right? And then when your DM expires, right? Then you use your boosters to body block, and like knock them back, and then fly back into your Zen to like protect them even more, right? And then at that point you'll have like a second or so of DM back up, right? And you can re-DM, right? And then you can still continue to body block, you can still shoot them off, right? And that buys so much time that realistically this D.Va has to leave, or like Zen alone will demech it, right? Which is headshot damage. But you're just not like prepared to peel at all here, right? So you fly in, right? So your order's wrong. First you should open with DM here, not boosting, right? If you're gonna boost, right, like you need to like fly back into your Zen, right? So like boost, and also if you're gonna boost, you should probably just use DM anyways here. But like the optimal order is just DM first, then like boost in. But if you're gonna boost in, like make sure you DM on your way in as well, because like that the time you're boosting in is time that your Zen's getting shot, right? The reason why that straight DMing works is if you straight DM, right? Your Zen has time to move and create distance between between him and the D.Va, right? And when the distance is created, then at that point the D.Va like I'm sure you know as well as anyone that D.Va does not do damage like past a certain point, right? So the DM like buys time for the Zen to get further away, and then if the D.Va tries to do anything after that, you boop her back, right? You create space, you can body block, right? And there's just more room for error at that point, right? Whereas if you just try to body block first, it's very, very tight. And in this case, you actually push the D.Va like more or less into your Zen, and you didn't body block because the Zen was moving in the direction this way, right? And this is the direction you boop the D.Va, right? Yeah, lose your mech as well because like you didn't like you were trying to boop body block, but because your Zen dies, like you just run out of firepower here, so there's no threat on this D.Va. Because if your Zen was still alive, this D.Va would be like in danger of losing mech. And also there's less separation, right? So if you DM first, right, you create separation for your Zen to get away, right? And then you fly in, right? You boop the D.Va away, right? And then you turn the fly and get back to your Zen, right? And then you can re DM or just body block with your back, right? But in this case, like because like your Zen died, right? And you use boosters first, now you have no options to get yourself out of safety, right? Out to safety, rather. That was good, right? So at that point, it doesn't matter, right? You're peeking across, right? So you DM, right? And you cross. That was really good, right? Trying to go back is a little sketch. I know you saw the stickies, right? But if you're not gonna like, you dropped your DM, it's on cooldown, right? At that point, they're on their own. It's a good chase. Just DM this. Don't try to shoot this. Just DM and get around the corner, right? Because you don't want to trade with this guy because A, they have trans. B, they have all these ults right here that you don't want to mess with. And C, like you don't. If you and the D.Va trade, the D.Va builds ult way, way, way faster than you, right? And there's a real danger that this guy builds like 3 ults in a fight, and then you're screwed, right? Or not 3 ults, like 2 ults in a fight, and then you're screwed. So you want to slow down the initial half of the copy as much as you can, right? So you DM, you run away from her, right, and you hide. And if she flies into you, then you go for a punish, right? But if she just tries to walk, like you know as well as anyone, D.Va just ints when she walks, right? So you just like chill, right? Wait for her to do something, right? And if she pushes into you, then you like then you dump missiles, you dump everything to killing her, right? But just like DM, run around the corner, hide, don't take damage. Yeah, so right here, the reason why she's able to do this, right, is because you didn't back around the corner, right? So you walked into the LOS of all their stuff, right? And you never got out of the LOS of the enemy D.Va, right? So instead of hiding around the corner, right, you like instead of taking the closest available cover, you like you booked it all the way out here, and you're still getting shot, right? And then you get pushed, and this forces the trans, right? Because you also restacked with your Zen, which isn't necessarily that bad. But the problem is like if you're back here and the D.Va flies past you, you just fly over here, DM her, and she's really sad, right? But she like you by putting you and the Zen together in one basket, right? You sort of face a situation where like this D.Va wants to shoot you anyways, and then she like by going towards you, she forces the Zen trans, right? But the bigger problem is definitely not using cover, right? You really shouldn't have run here. I know why you ran, but you Zen pop trans, so there's no reason to be afraid of taking damage now. And if you fly away, you can't come back because this guy's gonna have bomb, right? So you need boosters to get away from the bomb, and if you use boosters, you're done for the fight. You can't even drop now. Yeah, so if you look, your fight was done because you ran, right? There was no need to run until the bomb comes out. In the meantime, you can just try to continue helping your Zen. You can output more damage, right? You might even mess up the bomb by killing her early somehow. I don't know how, but you know, it's possible. In a different world. Ah, okay. Don't walk into spawn here, right? Like if you're completely safe, right? There's no one else to heal for your team, right? Make sure your healers get the support ult, right? Because this is if you're missing 300 health, that's like I don't know 10% ult for at least one of your supports. And potentially more. Mercy's ult is actually relatively cheap, so it could be even more. So exactly, DM when you cross, right? Life is simple. That was really good. Just be consistent about it. Yeah, you keep peeking and peeking and peeking and shooting, and it's like you're not doing anything. You even already have ult. Like, what's the point? I like your pathing overall, though. Your pathing has been pretty good getting you to cover, and like getting you closer with cover, right? That's something that's like very valuable. But like once you get there, you don't use the cover, which is the unfortunate part. But oh, there's a great bomb in here somewhere. That bomb's too shallow. Yeah, like it landed right here, right? So first of all, you want to time the bomb better for when your team is doing stuff, right? So you want to time your bomb for when like your ball is going in, right? Because if your ball boops someone or slams someone, they're way more vulnerable to bomb than if like you just throw the bomb. And second is you don't want to telegraph so hard. You kind of want to just like start from a bit further back, right? And then start the bomb as soon as like essentially as soon as you begin the throwing animation, right? So if that means you need to start a little bit farther away to do that, that's fine, right? But you want to like have the bomb moving even as it explodes, right? Which this doesn't achieve because like it stops here and then it explodes, right? And you want to have as much motion on the bomb as possible, really. You also want it a little bit higher. You want it over the cart so that people can't hide using the cart. And again, this is why you want to time it with what your ball is doing, because ball will lock them into this area, right? Just by virtue of like booping or slamming, right? And then the bomb goes up and kills everyone, right? So some issues with your bomb there. Let's talk about the timing again, though. So if you look at what your team's doing, right? Your ball's chilling, right? So right here, right? It's totally fine to just shoot this ball. Like he's feeding. He's not doing anything, right? So at this point, you can just chill. Shoot the ball, make sure your Zen's okay, right? It looks like your Zen's fine, right? Shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. And then when your ball goes in, right, it looks like your ball is actually going back right now. Then you throw the bomb, right? But the problem is like Avery is like, oh, this ball's inting, let's go hit the ball. And you're like, oh my gosh, time to throw the bomb. But like Avery's not going in, so the bomb is kind of bad, right? So like just read what your teammate's doing and also read what the enemy team's doing. This guy's inting, just go kill him, right? You don't need a bomb right now. So if you look, like Avery's going on, where'd the ball go? Oh, he's over here. Yeah. So like these two balls have decided to stalemate because ball doesn't really do anything to ball, right? But you're really forcing this bomb, and everybody gets away. Oh no. Also, again, I know it's very common to like run in after your bomb because like everyone's running away. Oh, I went too far back. I know it's very common to run in after your bomb because everybody's running away from it, running away from the bomb, right? But like, oh, it's your momentum. I see. Okay. But again, like, I mean, this is like, you're giving this to the Brig, right? The Brig just looks at you and is like, wait, she's remeching. This is a free bash. Like, just run. Like, run a couple steps back, get around the corner, right? And then remech, right? Make it expensive for this Brig to push you.
I'm on the objective.
Boosting up. 30 seconds.
Let's not one. There's no way I'm losing. Attack. Hi. Hang on. Let's reach you.
Good DM. That missiles was okay. I get why you did it. It was still not good in terms of results, but the reasoning why is like, oh, ball's in my face, maybe I can damage him a lot. That was fine, right? And like if you try to go in, I mean, you'd be inting if you went in, right? But if you went in, that would have been really good missiles. But he was trying to get out, so it was a little less good. So maybe if, like you take half a second to evaluate whether or not he's coming in or going out, right? And then decide to missiles from there. But see how like you peaked for half a second with Discord because you're trying to shoot the ball, and you immediately lost 300 health, right? Immediately, right? You literally peaked and lost 300 health, right? So again, be really careful of this, especially on D.Va, because D.Va can just feed really hard. Yeah, and like you even got sloppy, and you dropped your DM in LOS, right? So make sure you get LOS as fast as you can, right? Like as soon as like you start shooting with missiles, right? And you peak, like if you're not going to chase with that, like just make sure you hold DM the whole time and then drop back behind cover, because like your DM is like still more than half full, right? And like DM management's really important at higher levels, but like also not taking damage in like poke situations, and this is definitely a poke situation, right? Is really important because like if you think about it, this is just think about the math, right? If you're 250 health, that's 350 healing that you need, right? Zen does 30 healing a second. That's 12 seconds of orb. 12 seconds of harmony orb just to get you back to topped off, assuming you don't even take more damage, right? This is really expensive, right? At this point, it's almost worth it just to grab the mega, right? Because like again, it takes so much time to get you healed up. Right, okay, this peak is really bad, right? Just chill here, right? Wait to get healing. Don't walk back this way where you're peeking again the same LOS you just got domed from, right? And then second is like, again, in the terms of who gets the healing, you're literally the bottom of the totem pole. No one else is lower. Because maybe ball, but even during the middle of a fight, the ball is supposed to get more healing than you. It's just that ball during the poke phase is more on his own, right? But again, like everybody else needs healing more than you. So just try not to stress your healers by taking this much damage.
I need healing.
Not sure what that was, but that booster's also super questionable. It's overtime, so you need to touch soon. And like, if you look at what they're doing, right? It's good that you're using boosters because a lot of divas actually don't use boosters like enough, like by a huge margin. But the bigger problem here,
Need healing. I need
so the bigger problem is using boosters as a substitute for like actual movement, right? And cover, right? So here you boost in when you could have just walked in, like when it was apparent that there's nobody here, right? You can just kind of walk in, and save your boosters cooldown, right? And then once you get here, right? I don't know. I still don't know what that was, but once you get here, right? Their tanks kind of just like ram their face into you and you shoot them, right? There's no need to boosters anything. You're full health, right? You're peeking main, which is kind of awkward, but at the same time, like their ball's in, right? You're just shooting the ball, like that's a decent trade, right? And then the diva comes in, and you look, and you're like, wow, this diva's half. Let me just shoot the diva, right? And it's like you guys start trading DM, and you're winning by a lot. You can see his health, right? And you got your supports both directly behind you, or actually, where's your Zen? Okay, Zen's taking this angle, but you got your Mercy behind you, and you should know that because you were getting healed. So you're chilling, right? You're strong. And then you panic and you run away, right? Even though you're ahead mathematically, and there's a fight over here that involves that you probably touching at some point because Diva is like probably the most expendable card toucher. Both because she's resilient, has a lot of HP, and also because if she loses mech, she's not actually dead, right? So those are two things that make Diva really good for card pushing or like card tapping. But like you waste your booster's cooldown, you kill the Diva mech a little bit slower, and then in order to get onto point, right, you don't have boosters anymore to get over the mines, right? You got to walk straight into them, and you just lose all your HP. And then you fly into all the mines. Feels bad. Oh no. All right. How many minutes are we in? 22 minutes. I think we can do a little bit more. We win this? We don't, right? Oh, I guess we win this. Okay, I'm gonna talk about defense real quick, because it's a little different. Not quite the same, or not. Oh, okay, you play Sig. Never mind. Okay, I mean, I guess this is a reasonable spot to end it. Okay, let's get off this part of the. All right. So overall, your problems, or like Diva in this comp is like not easy. Like it's just like much more complicated than Sig. We didn't even talk about like controlling angles or anything like that. We talked explicitly just about taking less damage, right? And peeling better, right? Because those are the two things that Diva is like really good at. Diva is really good at taking a lot of damage, and she's also really good at peeling, right? So, be careful with your boosters, and you do use the cooldown a lot better than a lot of kind of like silver or gold divas that I've seen. But at the same time, you tend to like to waste it, right? So like at the end of a booster, just like ask yourself like whether or not it was necessary, because there's a lot of cases when like it's kind of not, right? Like if you think about it, like the boosters to get from here to here, probably not necessary, and then the boosters when you're fighting the diva to turn around and then come back and end up in exactly the same spot in a situation where you're winning a fight, right? Probably not the best, right? Be careful with your DM usage. Be careful at peeking without using DM, and then once you've peeked with your DM, just be careful to not peek again. Be like really mindful of LOS, because every time you take a shot as Diva, right, that's 2 to 3 seconds of Harmony Orb. Literally 2 to 3 seconds per like Ash shot you take, right? And that's just not value. So be really careful about that. For peeling wise, you want to whenever possible you want to open with DM, right? If you're too late, right? So like the Echo is like using stickies has already gotten stickies onto the target because you didn't see her coming in, and then she's starting her beam. At that point, you just have to try and body block, or you have to try and kick your like fly into the Echo and kick her like knock her aim off on her laser, and hopefully she misses enough that like your target lives. You can also try to do both, like you can knock her away potentially, and then turn around and like body block for your stickied person. But that's obviously very hard to do because like when you're flying at the Echo, you can't see what's behind you, right? And when you turn around, you got to re-find your target and still put yourself in between the Echo and her target, right? So that's obviously not easy to do against Echo, but especially against like Diva, against Ball, against Tracer, against Sombra, right? You just show up and you put DM on your target and they're invincible. Like they straight up stop taking damage, right? So just be really mindful that you always want to solve problems with DM first, booster second, and body third, right? Um, and that's kind of like the how D works. Be careful with missiles as well. You kind of just use them like sometimes when like I don't know. It didn't feel like you were spamming missiles at least. So you weren't just using it on cooldown, but you definitely used it a lot like when the ball was like leaving, right? And you just want to be really careful to have it for when like it's valued, right? Either you're going in or someone else is committing on you, right? Slash your team, right next to you. But like for example, if like the Devo, like, do you remember the copy here? If they copied here and you hide around the corner, right? And then she like turned and like flew into your Zen, right? Then that's perfectly a good time to just like just fly over there, right? Unload missiles, right? Use your DM to protect your to eat her missiles, right? And then shoot her until she dies, right? Or protect your Zen if your Zen's like getting gone on still, right? And like isn't living, then you just DM him, right? But be really careful about just like using missiles and then having them run away from you. What else? I think those are the major points. Yeah. Once you get a better handle on this, we can talk more about like controlling angles and like what to do. This is also kind of a rough map for controlling certain angles as Diva. So yeah. But the bigger point is definitely like peel better, take less damage. And yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. And if you get to this part in the video, DM me what 6 times 3 equals. Alright.